Hello, everyone. As Judge Collier Wilkin last week dropped a 76-page bomb on college sports, meaning football, basketball, and all other sports that are up under the NCAA umbrella. So it was a great day, but what does it mean? Well, it means you now have a hard cap. 20.5 million is going to be allocated to current student athletes. It's going to increase 4% each year over the next 10 years. So you're going to have a hard cap now. There is going to be profit sharing. How much is going to be allocated to the football program? Well, 75%, 15% to men's basketball. And these are just projections. 5% to women's basketball of the cap. And another 5% for other sports. So all of those GMs will have to figure that out. That's the new thing in college sports. You're going to have GMs to figure out how the money is going to be allocated and how much the players are going to make. I don't know whether they're going to pay them per position or whatever, but it's going to probably be on performance on the field. But we will find out how that works. Okay, the $2.8 billion that I've been screaming about is for student athletes that played in the past between 2016 and 2024. That money is going to be allocated 75% to football, 15% to men's basketball, 5% to women's basketball, another 5% to other sports. So those people that have played in the past, former student athletes, are going to be compensated under this deal as well, and they will be paid. So it looks like they've got all of that lined out, and you now have a hard cap, and now student athletes are able to partake in the system. I've seen reports, I've seen some takes on different social media, people talking about the 20.5. Well, where are they getting that money? Well, television revenues, sponsorships, and ticket sales. So go look it up for yourself in Google. That's what they're basing the system on. This deal has teeth. The money has hit the table. It won't go into effect until July 1st of 2025, and that's the big date that people are looking at. So what else has it done? Well, it's established a college sports commission. You're now going to have a commissioner. I think he's already been hired. How much power he has, no one knows. That's going to be the big question. But I think he's going to have the power to sanction, fine, penalties, put in penalties, and hopefully he has the power to put in the death penalty if these private booster deals continue to circumvent the rules. Because now it's about protecting the cap. You have $20.5 million allocated to current student athletes. If you're going to have a contract with a student athlete that's over $600, then it's going to go into a commercial clearinghouse or a clearinghouse of where it will be looked over to see if it has a qualified business purpose. And you know my stand on private booster deals. Kill it on day one if I was the commissioner, because there could be no qualified business purpose, because they're not on the national ad agency list of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and those, and they're not local dealers. They're pay for play specialists. That's what those contracts are. So hopefully he has the power to just kill that on day one, on July 1st of 2025. So you wonder, well, what's going on? What's actually going on? Well, between now and July 1st, the private booster deals are still in business. So you can still front end your rosters, and money is the name of the game. So the 25-26 season, to me, is going to still be played up under corrupted rules, and you'll have another mythical championship. Okay, because the boosters are still ruling, because this commission, the College Sports Commission, catch this, does not come into effect until July 1st, 2025. So there's a lot of things that can happen in between that. The commissioner is going to report to a board. 4 of those board members are conference commissioners: Big 12, ACC, SEC, and Big 10. Hopefully it's a 9-member board, so you can keep those guys in check. And hopefully that this commissioner does have unilateral authority to make the final decision that cannot be appealed by board members. Hopefully that's the deal, but I don't know that. Maybe you know it. So that's going to be the big deal. How much power does he have to sanction and to run roughshod over this college football landscape that has been corrupted for so many years and broken rules? So we'll just have to see what he can do. So in his day-to-day management, I'm glad you asked. He's going to be working under two systems. The NEO-GO system, that's where all of these third-party contracts are going to go into a clearinghouse. Over $600. If it's over $600, it's going to a clearinghouse, and they're going to find out if it has a qualified business purpose. And like I told you, the booster NEOs are pay for play, so they should not have any business purpose. So hopefully that's killed on day one. But other contracts with national ad agencies, local agencies that want to pay some players on the side with arm's length deals, legit deals, then have at it. Hopefully they have a marketing agent. But those deals still have to go through the clearinghouse. So that's under NEO-GO. Under the CAP system, the commissioner is going to be able to track payments from the member institution to their athletes under the hard cap, the 20.5 million. So you can see they have separated the system so that they can watch them. One, they're going to be watching the member institutions and how much money they're actually funneling to the players to see if they circumvent the $20.5 million cap. Then you have this other bucket that has these third-party deals, national agency deals, local deals, private booster deals that hopefully will be repurposed for something else, but they all have to have a qualified business purpose if it's over $600 that's going to be paid to any athlete. So there you have it in a nutshell. And my questions are going to be, is the board going to stay out of it and let this commissioner cook and do what he's got to do to get everybody in line? That's a big question. How much power is he going to have? I know there's going to be arbitration if there's any problems, and he will have subpoena power. So it's kind of modeling like the NFL commissioner. But anyway, that's the big question. Is he going to have the power to bring it in line and achieve competitive balance, transparency, stability, and restore some integrity to the system? That's what this is all about. And that was one of my biggest questions. And also the other question I've almost answered myself. There's going to be a lot of front loading with respect to the private NEO collectors because this guy does not get on the job until July 1st, 2025. So that's bad news that I'm reporting to you guys, that they still, it should have been when she pounded the gavel, he had the authority. But here again, some of these people, collectives, get grace to continue to undermine the sanctity of college sports. So we just have to deal with it just a little bit longer. But we want to see how this $20.5 million economy that's coming to places like Morgantown, West Virginia, how the student athletes are going to really handle this. It's a new deal, but that's the crux of the opinion that Claudia Wilken handed down. And I'm excited about it, but I want to see if it works in practice. So that's the macro view of how this thing is supposed to work, the structure. I'm always interested in what's behind the structure. So there you have it in a nutshell. That's what's going on, and that's part one. And parts 2, 3, and 4 is going to be on player management. I'm going to break it down for you on what they should be doing and how accountable they're supposed to be. It should be for student athletes all over the country. It should be to parents, and it should be for educators, directors of athletics or player relations. You want to know this stuff because these players have to know under the new landscape what they're supposed to do. So you can't play parent and cop over these young people all the time. So they have to know the rules. But that's where I'm going with this thing. I just gave you a brief overview of this historic 10-year deal that has set college football, supposed to set it straight. 10-year deal. It's not going to involve employer-employee issues. It's not going to involve unfettered free agency. That will be issues that have to be resolved on another day. This is C. Ivan Franklin, One Minority Voice, One View, on YouTube at Befrank4real. Yes, I'm jacked up about this deal, but let's see if it works when the rubber hits the road. See ya!